guys? So we are on the last unit of the year, which is unit 13, and it's going to be dealing with basically looking at some different classifications of quadrilaterals and polygons, and also looking at different things that happen within those. So the first one we're going to be looking at today is lesson 13.1, which is called interior and exterior angles. And so basically we're going to be dealing with any kind of polygon, and we're going to be dealing with the angles within it and the angles without it, or on the outside of it basically. Okay, so let's jump into that. Okay, so the first thing we need to look at is exactly what I mean by interior and exterior angles. So if you look at my polygon here, it looks like I have a pentagon here, and inside you see the red angles, those are going to be called my interior angles. So everything inside, so with two sides meeting, those are going to all be interior angles. And then on each one of those interior angles, if you have a line that extends out, that's known as an exterior angle. So just one of those is going to be known as exterior angles. So all the blue ones are exterior, meaning outside the angles there, okay? So the thing you need to know is the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is all I have to do is take n, which is the number of sides. So right now if I have 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I subtract 2 from that, which is going to be 3, and if I multiply it by 180, that's going to tell you what all of the angles add up to. So then that would end up being able to help you find one of the angles if need be. So again, I'm going to take 180, take the number of sides and subtract 2, and I'm going to multiply those, and that's going to give you what all the angles are going to add up to, okay? Then for the exterior angles, if I take all the blue angles here and add those all up, they're automatically going to end up adding up to 360. But now you have to realize that it's just going to be one angle per exterior angle there. So when I add those together, they're going to add up to 360. So we're going to take this concept, apply it to our examples, and let's go with that. All right, look at example number 1. It says, what is the sum of the interior angles of a polygon with 12 sides? So we need to find what all the angles of the interior angle of a 12-sided polygon actually add up to. So again, the formula to find what all the angles add up to is going to be 180 and then n minus 2. Remember, n is the number of sides. So 12 sides, so I'm going to do 180 times 12 minus 2. 12 minus 2 is going to end up giving you 10. 10 times 180 is going to be 1,800. So that means each one of the degrees, if I add all those up inside a dodecagon, it's going to equal 1,800 degrees in this instance. It's that simple to find all those. So if I wanted to find one of those angles, I would then divide it by 12, but it wanted us to find all of the angles of the interior angles here, okay? Let's jump over to example number 2. All right, so on example number 2, it says we need to find the value of x for the polygon below, okay? So we know by rule that all of the angles, the interior angles, I would use that same formula to find what all of them add up to. So first I gotta find out the sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides here. So this is gonna end up being a pentagon. So then that means I'm gonna do 180 n minus 2. So I'm gonna do 180 times 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is going to end up giving me 3. 3 times 180 is going to end up giving me 540. So it's going to be 540 degrees. So that means every single one of these angles, if I add those up, is going to end up being 540 degrees. So that means 112 plus 87 plus 85 plus 123. I'm going to add all those up real quick. So 112 plus 87 plus 85 plus 123. So I'm adding all these up. So that ends up being 407 plus whatever this angle is. So 12x plus 37. And I'm going to set that equal to 540. Okay. So I'm going to go and combine 407 and 37. So plus 37 is going to give me 444. So 12x plus 444. I'm going to subtract 444. So 540 minus 444 is going to end up giving me 96. And then I'm going to divide by 12. So 96 divided by 12 is going to end up giving me 8. So in this instance, x is going to end up being 8. And so if, let's just say hypothetically that example number 2 is asking me to find that angle, I would have to take x and plug it back in. But right now it's just asking to solve for x. So right now, again, all of the angles, I used my formula to find what all the angles would add up to by plugging in the number of sides. Then that means all these angles added up to 540. So I added up all the numbers, even the number inside that equation there, and then I subtracted and divided and ended up solving for x there. Okay, let's jump over to example number 3. Okay, so on example number 3, if you look, I have on each one of these angles on the interior, I have one line coming off of it. So I know that all of the angles in the exterior are going to add up to 360. That's my rule. So that means each one of these is going to add up to 360. So I'm going to take 2a minus 3. I'm going to add 10a plus 3. I'm going to add 5a plus 20. And I'm going to add 85. And all that's going to add up to 360 degrees. So I'm going to go and combine all of my a's. So 2a, 10a, and 5a. So 2a and 10a will give you 12, 5a will give you 17a. Okay. Negative 3 and positive 3 are just going to cancel there, so they're going to cancel out. And then 20 and 85 is going to add up to 105. I'm just combining like terms here, guys. And then I'm going to subtract 105 and then divide by 17. So I'm going to do 360 minus 105 is going to give me 255, and I'm going to divide by 17 on that, which is going to end up giving me 15. So in this instance, A is going to end up being 15 because I subtracted 105 and divided by 17. Again, just to recap, all of these are exterior angles. All of the exterior angles, just one per interior angle, are going to add up to 360. So literally I took 1, 2, 3, 4 of those exterior angles, added them all up, and they equaled 360. So I combined like terms, subtracted 105, then divided by 17, which ended up giving me 15. Okay, let's jump over to our last example. All right, on the last example, it wants me to find the measure of angle J. Well, if you look, they've given me all interior angles. So I know I can use that interior angle formula to find what all of the angles are going to add up to. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So I'm going to do 180 times 6 minus 2. So 180, 4 minus 2 is going to give you 4, or 6 minus 2 is going to give you 4. 180 times 4 is going to end up giving me 720. Okay? So that means all of these angles, when I add them up, are going to add up to 720 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all the numbers first. So I'm going to do 101 plus 118 plus 146 plus 150. So if I add up all the numbers, so this, and this, that's going to end up giving me 515. 515. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Okay, and then I'm going to add these two angles together. But if you look, they're both expressions. I'm going to go ahead and combine the like terms. So 2y and 3y would give me 5y. And then 12 and negative 7 is going to end up giving me 5. So plus 5 is going to equal 720 degrees. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and combine these. So 515 and 5 would end up giving me 520 plus 5y equals 720. So I'm going to subtract 520 and then divide by 5. So 720 minus 520 is going to give me 200. So 5y equals 200. And then I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides. So y in this instance is going to be 40. But now if you look at my answer, it says I need to find angle J. So what that means is I now need to take what angle J is equal to here, and I need to plug y back in. So I'm going to take 3 times 40 minus 7. So 3 times 40 is going to give me 120 minus 7 is going to end up giving me 113. So your final answer is going to be 113. So again, we solved for y, and then we plugged it, or found what y is, and we plugged it back into my formula. So there's multiple parts to this, but the main idea is that we have all interior angles. So I used my formula to figure out what all the angles added up to, added all the angles up, equaled it to 720, and solved for y and plugged it back in, okay? So both of these concepts are pretty basic. You just gotta be able to differentiate between exterior and interior angles and able to be able to use the formula and which one goes which way, okay? If you guys need some help, please holler at me. I'm here to help you with some skill checks. I'd love to help you get done with your skill check. All you gotta do is let me know. Hope you have a good one.